All right. What's good? What's good? What's good? Hope all's well with everybody. Let's chop it up. Been a heavy work morning this morning, so I didn't get a chance to see Trill. So I'm just catching up with my boxing day. What's going on, Dre's finest? Bogart Skrilla. Actually, let me go over to this other thing. My man, Dre's finest. What's going on? Bogart Skrilla. Stanley Sims and Fannon, salute my good brother. Much love. Stay safe and God bless. Hey, I'm trying my best. What's good, Stanley Sims? Jafari Caesar. What's going on, my man, Mr. Caesar? Jeffrey Bean said, "We here. What up? Salute, Fannon the Don, man. Thank you." And what's going on, Matt? What's going on, Matt? Newcomb. Hey, I got something for your I got something for your girlfriend, man. You know, I was doing the research on the Tiger Wood thing, man. So, you know, I got something. Lowland Price. If we got a chance to go through it in the live stream, I might make a mention of it. Lowland Profits in the building. What's going on, man? Salute to you. Matthew Valentine, as always, pleasant to see you. Thrill Hill, shout out to Fannon and the LDBC. Yes, sir. Drew Titan, my man, what my man, 100 grand. Phil Jades, 508. Don, the now 65-year-old G, salute to you. As always, good to see you, sir. Buddy Lee Sr., man, what is good? Thank you for coming. He says, salute for 9. Jab that like button on the EAY in LDBC. What it do to the whole chat? What it do to you, Buddy Lee Sr.? Real Talk 90 said, what's the deal? You sound like my man, Mr. Boxing today, too. Dre's finest, salute to the chat. The DMV is now on deck, you dig? Jeff the producer, salute Don. Salute to you, Jeff the producer. Thomas Moreland in the building. Mr. Caesar, boom, there you go. Ramon Baez, much love in that super chat. Man. Damn, where my Chico? That's where my rush went. Much love in that super chat. Fuck Dillian White. Oh, fuck Tyson Fury. We got a good conversation today coming on about Tyson Fury. A lot of good things popping off. A lot of interesting things in the boxing world today. Tim Diamond said, hello all. Aunt Killer said, good morning, brothers and sisters. Peace and blessings, fam. Hey, peace and blessings, fam, to you, Cool Drink Chocolate Dip. That's a hilarious name. What's going on, Angie Wise? Weedy Guitar Studio, Saint cruising in the building with the pound or hashtag LDBC, CB Sports TV. What's good? Q God, Q Dog, Israelite, shout out for 9. Key Book, Good Boxing Channel, talking it up straight. Hey, man, I try my best. So what's good to everybody else, man? Last one I'm gonna say what's up to. If I didn't get a chance to say what's up to you, man, you know what's up. Here, shout out for 9 Key Boxing Channels. Oh, no, that was my man, Q Dog. What was the last one? Oh, Iron Fist Boxing Channel. Fannon brings us boxing in a classy form while delivering a message straight truth. Good morning, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So, all right. So let's get to this. He said, I'm so happy we're going to be getting some boxing soon. Yeah, man. Get it tomorrow, right? Hey, what's going on, Dre's finest HU, baby? What's good to the Bisons? Just getting prepared to pay the Bison some more money. But all right, man. So let's get to this. First things first, the news came out today, man. It was an article in Boxing Scene I wanted to get your thoughts about, and that was Errol Spence Jr. saying he'd like to fight Yordenis Ugas, but unfortunately, nobody knows who Yordenis Ugas is outside of hardcore boxing fans. So even though he wants to make that fight happen, dude, he just don't know if he's going to have enough time in his, he ain't going to have enough time left at 147 pounds to wait around for Yordenis Ugas to get known. So it looks like, but he was very complimentary of Ugas, and it made it seem like, he really respects him as a competitor and knows it would be a really good fight. But, that again brings us back to this, to the business of boxing. If you look at what's going on. Oh, Real Talk 90 says he's right. Ugas should have stayed in line for the IBF. Yeah, the only way that Yordenis Ugas is going to be able to get that is The only way that Yordenis Ugas is going to get that is if he gets it in because he becomes a mandatory. 78 Sports TV in the building. What's going on, my brother? He said, shout out to the bald-headed gang. And the funny thing is, 78, they don't know the magic of a bald head, man. Like all you dudes, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know the magic. You don't know the freedom that no hair on the top of your head brings. But then again, many of the people that are bald never really want to give up that sense of insecurity that they have. And they want to keep, just keep a little bit of hair on their head as if it somehow is going to prove it's going to prove that you're still a man because you keep some gravel on the top of your head. Man, please, if you can walk around with no hair on your head and be confident, dude, that's what you need. Gracie Kumba, Fannon, I really think that Errol should take a tune-up fight before he fights Danny. I think it's dangerous. Hey, man, it is. I mean, all the fights are dangerous, and yeah, I mean, in the best of worlds, he would be able to get a tune-up fight. But I don't really know if a tune-up fight is necessarily, really what he needs. I think what he really needs is some sparring, and to see how he feels in the sparring while he's sparring. And if he gets to the point where he's at, maybe if he, I don't know how many rounds he usually spars, but, he should be able to feel it everywhere other than his head. He should be able to feel his quickness, feel his hand speed. He should be able to feel all of that stuff, with the exception of taking really heavy shots, to the head. And I know that the gloves are a little bigger in sparring too, but I don't know, man. I'm just gonna take him at his word, man, and say, hey, this is what, if he thinks he's ready, if his team thinks he's ready, I'm gonna respect that, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna respect that. And not at the same time that I respect it, I'm not discounting people's worries. I think that the worry for people to worry about it and, wanting to make it, sure that he's okay. But here's my thing. If he ain't okay against Danny Garcia, he ain't going to be good against Yordenis Ugas either. If he ain't good enough to beat Danny Garcia, then, I mean, he's not going to hold on his belt. He's not going to hold on to his belt no matter what. So maybe, by saying that he would take the tune-up, that might give him, a little, give him a little more room. Jose de Jesus said, Fannon, did you see the picture that Errol posted of someone crashing into the back of his car? No, man. Ain't that a bitch, though? Whew. Man, that'd be crazy to get out of that type of car accident. He said, Charles Griffin said, Fannon, a fight is a fight. What is a tune-up? Yeah, man, I don't know. If he ain't ready for Danny Garcia, he just ain't ready. He ain't going to be ready. Put it that way. By the time this fight takes off, though, he would have been out a year, because I think he fought in October. So in October, it'll be a year. And what's today? This is the 6 months. So 4 months from now. And I think that's at least how long it's going to take before he gets in. He would have been out for a whole year before he ever started fighting. You know what I mean? Juniper B said Jermell should be good test in sparring. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, Charles would say, yeah, it's been a year. Yeah, so it's been a while, man. It's been a while. So it'll be okay. I mean, it'll be what it is. You know what I mean? It'll be what it is. So, but I now want to get into something that I'm only going to talk about now because I didn't want to put it on the title of my video, and I didn't want to put it in my I didn't want to put it. I knew when I did the video, because I did my videos already for today, and they're all going to be up on the channel. So yeah, it's true though. Danny is dangerous. No jokes aside. Oh yeah, exactly. All jokes aside, Q Dog. Are you Q Dog like Q Dog? I mean, are you a real Q Dog like that type of Q Dog? Q Dog. I mean, is that what you mean when you talking about Q Dog? You talking about that? Let me know, because then I get to make fun of you and have fun. If the Q Dog is that you really a Q Dog, let me know. Anyway, Fannon, all Errol has to do is make sure them teeth are good. That dude is a dog. He can deal with all the welterweights. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I believe so, but at the same time, I'm not going to discount. I'm not going to discount what other people have to say. What other people have to say about it, right? I think it very well could be. He said if he's a Q, it's open season. Yeah, man, dude, we got alphas, we got noops in the building, we got alphas in the building. I don't know if we've had any Qs. That's why I want to know. I mean, because I know we definitely got A5 in the building. We the noops run the shit. You know what I mean? And then to have the Qs and have a Q and a Sigma around here, dude, we could be popping it up in the middle of a boxing conversation. But Anthony Holmes, what is that? Is that a Mason? What is that? Is that a Mason, Antonio Holmes? I know we got some Masons in here. Ugas could take any welterweight. Wouldn't be surprised if he won. No, I wouldn't. Ugas is a tough character, man. Somebody going to have to fight Ugas, though. Now, that's for real. Somebody's going to have to fight Ugas. Yeah, Antonio Holmes. Yep, so the Masons, cool. Okay, so we got the Masons. So I know we got a Q. I think we got a Q. We'll find out if he got a Q, but he might just be Q Dog, like his name is Quentin. You know what I mean? Like if your name is Quentin, sometimes Quentins could go by Q Dog. But a Q Dog, just for y'all to know, is Omega Psi Phi. Is Omega Psi Phi, Q Dog. Ramon Baez, much love in that super chat, Ramon Baez. What's a Mason? A Mason is I'll let somebody else explain what a Mason is. I don't want to. Somebody in the comment section can Anaj Roy. And I know I'm probably mispronounced that. Somebody can explain to him what it is. But basically, it's a fraternal organization. And they have certain rituals associated with it, certain information and knowledge that they share between each other. And but other than that. You'd have to talk to really about them, about their organization. I'm not a Mason, but I respect Masons though, without a doubt. Yeah, Ugas definitely has a big presence in the ring. I think Boots ready for Ugas. Yeah, man, I wouldn't put him in there that quick, but he could be. We'll see. All right, so I gotta say something, man, because your boy Teddy Atlas tried to pull a quick one today, man. He pulled a quick one, and I think I can. Let me see something. I want to see if I can show you something. I should be able to pull this up on my screen because I want to read to you and let you read something that Teddy Atlas said today, and I want to address this. Boxing is lovely to talk boxing every day, but we do a little bit of the real world conversation here too. And Teddy Atlas, okay, I think I should be able to do this. Let's see. Let's see. There you go. All right. Do I need to blow that up? Do I need to blow? I don't know how I can blow this up, man. But if you can see this, it says, this is what Teddy Atlas said today. This is a straight guilt trip, man. George Floyd and retired police captain David Dorn have a couple things in common. Both are black and both were just murdered. Where the commonality ends is remembrance. Floyd's death will bring change. So should Don's. R.I.P. Okay, did you get that? Teddy Atlas, dude. Cut with the fucking guilt. Cut it with the guilty. Cut it with the guilty shit. Okay. Now, here's my thing about that. So y'all see this, man. Let me get back to the thing. So this is my thing, man, and I wanted to definitely talk about that, man. All right, that is an attempt to guilt trip somebody and saying, "Hey, George Floyd passed away and he'll be remembered," right? But this police officer who's not even. And now, by the way, let me tell you what happened to the retired. He's not a police officer that he's talking about, by the way. He is a retired He was a 75-year-old retired policeman that was at a pawn shop, was working, I think he might have been security at a pawn shop. And looters came in the pawn shop and he got shot in the exchange. Okay, so most likely this is not a case where, this is why I'm saying, man, Teddy Atlas, you just come on, man, with this stuff. First of all, don't try to guilt trip me or guilt trip people into saying, well, if we remember George Floyd, we have to also remember everybody that passed away or had, issues like that around the George Floyd situation, right? That's what he says. And that's what he's implying there. He said, Don, I mean, dude, look, here's the thing. This is why I'm saying, first of all, you stop trying to guilt trip people, okay? Stop trying to guilt trip people with that. And let me tell you the theory by which they guilt trip you. And now I know I got it. By the way, somebody came to that subscribed to my page that is now in law school or is in the middle of law school. And there's a concept, man, that I want to explain to you, dude. This is what people try to pull over on you when they do this stuff. There is something called, you guys have heard of negligence, right? And that's where you fail to act up to a certain standard of care, right? That you owed. And then, so somebody could say that if you broke my window, I think, what was a terrible example I used in the video? Okay, if you're coming into my store, and right in front of my store, there is a gigantic hole, right? Which is covered by leaves or trash or whatever, but you really can't see it, right? And you're walking into the store that I own. Before you walk in, somebody says, hey, don't walk there. There's a hole there, right? There's a hole there. And you hear it and it's like, there's a hole there. Oh yeah, I don't see a hole. And then you keep walking and then you fall in the hole and you break your leg. Okay. So because you broke your leg, then turn around and try to sue the store owner, or I forget who you are. The person tries to sue you as the store owner. Let's just keep you as the store owner, right? And they say, hey, you're like, hold on, man. You had this gigantic hole here that I stepped into. I broke my leg. It's on your property. You knew people were going to come in and out of here, right? And they weren't going to be able to see it. You didn't fix it. I have $10,000 worth of damages. I want you to pay me $10,000, right, to make me whole. Right? That's because, and you're saying that that's negligence, right? That he didn't live up to a certain standard of care. He should have known there was a hole there. He should have fixed the hole. As a result, boom. Got it? That's what that is. Now, what's in some places, what people will do to counter that is something called contributory negligence, right? What's going on, Raiders Time? Thanks for joining the channel, man. Thank you so much. So a defense to negligence would be the guy could turn around and say, hold on, no, but you knew that the hole was there. You knew the hole was there. And somebody said there's holes over there. Then you should have looked to see whether or not that thing, where there was a hole underneath that debris, right? So they're saying, well, it's not all my fault. It's your fault and it's my fault. It's your fault and it's my fault. So there's contributory negligence. Yes, there was something that I did that I wasn't supposed to do, or a standard that I didn't live up to. But also there's a standard that you didn't live up to, which was to make sure before you walk in the parking lot to look to see if there's a hole there, right? Now, that's what contributory negligence is. And that is the argument that in the basic structure of what Teddy Atlas is saying. And I'm telling you that crap is a con job, because he's saying that there's two sides to this. You have the person you have George Floyd, who was the victim, right? That started it. And then you have somebody, I forget his name already, forgive me, Don, we'll call him Don, that passed away. And by the way, rest in peace, Don. I don't want to make light of the person that passed away in that type of situation. It's terrible. I'm not trying to besmirch the guy at all, but I'm talking about this because Teddy Atlas brought this together with George Floyd, right? And it's boxing. So he's a boxing guy that brings this channel into it. He's talking about an issue. Is George Floyd was the center of it, and then he brought in this other guy. So it ain't me picking on him, right? It's me pointing out that Teddy Atlas is using this guy as a prop for his argument, right? He's basically using a dead man as a prop for his argument. But since he used the dead man as a prop for his argument, let's just, go through the whole thing. Now, he's saying that that's the two wrongs don't make a right, so both guys get off. That's how you look at that. That's the essence of what I'm talking about. Two wrongs are right. No, two wrongs don't make a right. Therefore, both guys get nothing. So it's a wash, is what he's trying to say. But that, my friend, is too simple an explanation for this scenario. In this scenario, you have somebody that has a heightened duty of care compared to a bunch of ad hoc individuals that are running wild in a neighborhood. That's the major difference. Here, what George Floyd is representing to people is a brutality that is a result of a brutality that people have been fighting to end. One consistent thing that people have been trying and pointing out to and trying to end for centuries. That's one. So there is a significant duty of care on the part of the officers that caused the injury to the death of George Floyd. Versus what Teddy Atlas is saying, which is that they have the same standard, or we should remember it the same way as if somebody that is a security man at a pawn shop gets robbed and shot. No, one is an ad hoc. That's ad hoc. That's a matter of crime. That's a criminal issue. This here is this is a multi-leveled national racial issue. It goes to the very nature of the relationship between not just one police officer and one person that passed away, but the entire criminal justice system and all of the individuals that live underneath its purview. Those are radically different situations, Mr. Atlas. And that is a really corny way. That's a corny way to try to deflect the conversation. Because if we spend as much time worrying about the person, about the situation where one man was affected and one family was affected, we have to give that as much time as we have to give something that symbolizes century-long suffering on the behalf of millions and millions and millions and millions of people. That would be akin to me telling Teddy Atlas that, hey, man, we need to, yes, we know there's coronavirus killing people left, right, front, and center. But what we really need to do is we need to make sure that people get the poison ivy out of their backyards. Because the poison ivy, that really irritates your skin. But we need to give that problem, you know what I mean? We need, or let it, or some other thing that affects us day to day. But nope, when we're going through this panic because of a virus, which might wind up killing everybody, we need to give that equal attention. No, Teddy, we don't need to give that equal attention. We need to focus on the problem that called George Floyd, because that's what people's focused on. And you need to go and mind your business in the closet right there with Paulie Malignaggi and shut the fuck up. All right. So I didn't do that the same way that I did my video, but I got it off of my chest. I had to, man. This guy, man. It's like sometimes, dude. Crawford should. Atlas is disingenuous. He's trash. No doubt about it, man. No. He's not disingenuous. He told you the truth. He just thinks he's smart. That's it. I mean, it's kind of like Drew Brees. Well, it's like what happened with Drew Brees. Did the same thing. Drew Brees didn't just say "fuck y'all," is what he wanted to say. Fuck y'all. The only thing that I cared that Drew Brees said was "I can never respect," because after that, dude, you knew what he was talking about. I can never respect y'all, right? That's what he said. He said, "Drew Brees, let me speak. I told y'all I speak snake, right? Let me tell you what Drew Brees said. He said, "Fuck y'all. I don't respect none of you niggas." That's what he said. And why the news won't report what they at with the dude that's what he said. Straight up. And why did he say it? He said it when he said, "I can't respect anyone that would disrespect the flag." He said, "Fuck all y'all, all you Negroes, fuck you." First of all, he never had any respect. We can start there. That if you never had respect for us. And that's obvious from your statement. But he said, "I can never disrespect anybody that would disrespect, I can never respect anybody that would disrespect the flag." And then he proceeded to talk about how long his family had been white people in America. That's how I heard what he said. Because I like to change it real cynical, but within the realm of like, how would I say this if he was just talking to friends and he wanted to express the same idea? Fuck all of them. What he says, fuck all of them. My people didn't fight. My people, we've been in this country for, we're from this country. We're Americans. Fuck them. We're Americans. Anybody that would disrespect Americans. And he sees himself as the American. That's it. That's what Drew Brees said. Fuck all y'all. And y'all going to go ahead and continue to support Drew Brees. Drew Brees is what he said. That's what he meant by that. Same thing with Teddy Atlas. What he said is, let me throw a dead nigga in your face. That's what he did. Let me go find, because how would he do? Somebody in St. Louis, a retired police officer. What does a retired police officer look like at a pawn shop? He looks like a man in regular shooting clothes with regular clothes on that somebody would have no idea was a police officer. That's what he looks like in that scenario. They wouldn't know. He's not carrying a badge around, says retired on it. No. In a pawn shop that was robbed. Because when people say they were looted a pawn shop, now let's change this around. A pawn shop got robbed. Pawn shops get robbed all the damn time. How do you know that he was there? And by the way, what the fuck are you doing this black man's got to be smart enough to know that he ain't supposed to be protecting somebody else's pawn shop in the middle of a riot of looting. You can get your ass up out of there. That's the argument for contributory negligence. Dude, go home. What are you doing? Why are you protecting their property? And why are you doing that? Crazy, man. Crawford is going to fight Jesse Vargas next. Nah, he's not. Hey, Mr. Mom, much love in that super chat. Mr. Mom. So I just had to get there, man. I had to go there on your boy Teddy today, man. That's absolutely ridiculous. Come on, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. But at least they're dog whistles. So pay attention to the dog whistles, because that was a dog whistle. The Paulie, we can now, every time you hear something like that, you know for sure you can put them all in their bucket together, because they didn't disappear. They didn't go anywhere. Even though all of this stuff, trust me, after this, they're going to act like it really has disappeared. right now, because all these European Americans stood up for it and they were fighting for it. So not only did we not stop calling you nigga, we also got up and went for two protests for you. So hey man, the problem's solved. I'm telling you, wait. Anyway, you guys are holding their own conversation in here, man, about Bud. Drink more water must be in here, man. Woolbag, there you go. That's Woolbag. I knew Woolbag had to be in here to talk about Crawford because Crawford didn't have nothing to do with this subject matter. Lowest common denominator boxing, home of the demographic. Teddy used the same racial undertones. He got Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton elected. Trump is just uses no undertones. He directs his criticism without hiding it. OGBT, that's what's up. Hey man, that's what's up. I never thought OG had OG boxing talk. Yes, sir. Hey man, politics, man. Teddy Atlas used the same undertones. Yeah, look, man, here's the thing. This is what in talking about that lowest common denominator. I have to actually research this again because I'm not as familiar with it as other like theories for the opinions of Neely Fuller Jr. But one of the things that he talked about was population. What is it? That white supremacy had entered the age of refinement, where they did not need to be as crude as they used to be. But every once in a while, something will pop them back into crudeness, right? And basically the goal. Oh, Damon Bryan said, I played Drew Brees in high school. He's been a racist. Of course he is. He went to Damian Bryant. He went to what the fuck is that school? Westlake. Dude, definitely. Look, let me tell you my story, my Texas sports story. Okay, Texas sports story. There I live. Just say that I live close to. I always try my best to live as close to regular people as I possibly can. And my wife, well, basically what I always like to live in is I always like to live in black neighborhoods, like really close to black neighborhoods. That's my if I can find a nice house and there's a decent school district that's buttressed right next to a black neighborhood, that's where I like to be. Because that way I get to go over there to go to the store. You know what I mean? My kids call it the ghetto spot. I get my ghetto spot where wherever I buy my stuff, I go buy it in the ghetto spot because you get in, you get out, you get to see black people, makes me feel safe, right? But right now I don't. Right? When I moved here, we moved closer to where my wife has to go to work. So but my son is a basketball player and my son can ball, like ball, right? Ball. So he comes down here to Texas, right? And he gets here last year. We got here when he was in 7th grade. So he wound up playing his 7th grade and his 7th grade and his 8th grade. Now, nobody knew him, so you know how it is, right? Like when you first come in, people, they have basically these teams have been playing together for a long time. So all you can really do is you might be able to really do your thing every once in a while. But that said, my son was still putting up over 20 points a game in playing 14 minutes a game, right? Over 20 points a game, playing 14 minutes a game. And so his name started to get out, right? And you started seeing people like knew, and then he started playing AAU out here, and people started seeing him coming. Boy, when we went over there by that school, by the feeder junior highs into that school that Drew Brees went to, dude, it was like the referees disappeared. Like it's like they disappeared. They could grab him, toss him. It was like, really? You don't see that? You don't see any of that? Man, please, Texas sports ain't nothing serious, and it is, man, please, definitely was like that. He said, DB Month Track said Westlake and South Lake are pretty racist suburban towns in North Texas. Yeah, this is in Central Texas. It's a school in Austin. But man, let me tell you, dude, why do you think Mahomes married the white girl? Wow. Well, I think that it is the same scenario. I don't know about him, but I have a idea about what causes that. I think, man, I got to do a better job of being able to explain it, because some things in my head I can't explain. It's tough to get out unless you really practice it and organize it. But here's my thing. There is, and goes for everybody. And anybody got questions like this in the super chat, I appreciate you. Oh, that wasn't even actually in the super chat. But Eric Brown, look, here's the thing, man. Black people have an immense insecurity complex because of the relationship they have with European Americans. The European American and pretty much all of society casts on you its reflection of what they believe about you, all the stereotypes that are out there, right? And you become very aware of it, right? Because you experience it from them, right? You know that black people are considered, everything black is bad and everything black is bad. Why? Because white people think everything black is bad. So you know that they are the people, and you as a result of being in a society that tells you that constantly, you feel rightfully as if there may be something wrong with you. And the reason that there's something wrong with you is because you're black. Right? But you want contact with people. You want to talk to people. You want to become, yourself. The true person always wants to expand. It wants to communicate with people, talk with people, have good times, that whole social life that you have. That's what you want to do. That's what human beings want to do. We want to get out and socialize. So when you're in an environment, though, when you really want to be socialized, you want to socialize, you want to participate, but the thing that prevents you, right, is your color and the perception that people have of the people that you want to socialize. You admire them and you dislike them at the same time, because you know that you are the object of their desire. The socialism, the success, the socialization, the success, whatever it is, the things that you covet, they have all of those things. They give out the social acceptance, which you desire, but yet you hate them for denying it from you. So see that? You love them and you hate them at the same time. You love them because you need them, you want them because they have control over the society and everything that you want. But you hate them because they withhold it from you because you're black. And so when I see people that are in relationships like that, typically it feels like that. It's like it's never going to be a real trust. That's why there's never going to be a real trust in the complete closure, because you guys are both very, very well aware that you're white and he's black. But yet by being associated with them, you get more of the social, you get access to more of the things that you desire. So you hate them because you have to be with them, but you love them because you are with them. And it goes over and over and over and over again. And that's what I think causes black men to be attracted in large part to white women. And I think on the other side of it, though, you also have the resentment that they could have, and this is just some general archetype thing, right? Just not on any particular person. Also, if there's some part of dislike, like your own mother, like the ones that get me, Patrick Mahomes, I think his mother is white. So that might be a little less confident, than maybe, unless anyway, I don't want to see, that's what I'm saying. When you get me going into that, then you have to look at specifics and, every individual person's learned experiences, that what they've specifically dealt with. But by and large, generally speaking, that seems to be the dynamic at play, because I've talked a lot to pretty much every black dude that I was really cool with, that I asked that about, said it. They said it in some form. They said, well, what really attracted me to her was that we both were business minded. Right? We're both into, I wanted to create a business. She wanted to, but almost every time it relates to them acquiring something. Not saying that they are, trying to, that they're any worse a person than anybody else. But, same reason black women with white men are even more so that way. Because they know damn well that's the only reason they over there. You know what I mean? And you know it. You can see it with women. You're like, because women, because they're like, hey, I need, first of all, you can't provide it. He can provide it. So I know he can provide it, which provides my basic securities and all of the things that I need to help me with other things that I need with my help, my self-esteem, which is related to jewelry, cars, houses, all those type of things. He can provide those things that help me feel complete and help me feel as if I'm respected and as if my company and presence is desired by other people. But at the same time, she could resent him because she knows that's why she's with him, and resorted because he knows that she knows that that's why he's with him. That whole crazy thing they just keeps flipping over, that kind of loop. That's what I see, and at the very least. So very good question, man. I appreciate it. Alex Santos said, real talk, Fannon. Thanks, man. Thanks, Alex Santos in the building. Fannon, my sister was contacted by Angela Davis this weekend and was given money to start a nonprofit for Black girls and interest in higher education to promote growth and entrepreneurs. That's excellent. That's excellent, man. Excellent. That's what's up. Bo, by the way, man, you should holler at me because I got an announcement that's going to be coming up in a couple weeks that's related to that. Because I told people the super chats is going to a reason that I'm funding the creation of a business related to the things that we're talking about. And that's what I'm doing. And it's not far off from me being able to show you guys what it is. And what you're talking about right there is pretty much, it's not the higher education portion, although there is an education portion to it, but the entrepreneurship, education and entrepreneurship. But primarily, I think in boxing, I think you guys are gonna like it. And so thank you guys for all your super chats. Now that is the time when I'll say for what I'm trying to raise money to do that you guys are gonna see the product of. Hey man, I will, super chat. I'll sing for some super chats for that because you're gonna like it. It's just taking crazy work. So when it's like all you Patreons where I'm like, man, I'm trying to get this out. It's like just try to keep creating something for you. Like I'm trying to do something like, wow, they're gonna really love this. They're gonna really get a lot of value out of it. And every time I do it, it takes me something that is a little more intense. Something that requires more, requires more detail. Given game today, yeah. Well, hey man, today because I'm really been kind of reviewing a lot of the stuff that Franz Fannon talked about. So this whole thing, I know everybody know. Not available at this point in time. What's going on? Damon Webster said, I came in late. Can anyone tell me when and if Shakur fight tomorrow? He's fighting tomorrow for sure. And I can't tell you what time. It's going to be like 8 o'clock in the evening. I'll look it up for you real quick. They ain't got no money for no advertisements now. It's coming on tomorrow, but dang well they ain't gonna have too much advertising for it. ESPN tomorrow. The fight includes Robsy Ramirez is back. Calvin Metcalf from Kansas City fighting Quintavious Cash. Robsy Ramirez, who I do believe beat Shakur Stevenson in the for the Olympic gold medal, is fighting Andular. Vinejo, somebody from Rome, is fighting Dan Hainsworth. Jared Anderson is fighting Johnny Langston. And Shakur Stevens is fighting Felix Carbajal in what will most, no doubt about it, be a significant ass a whooping. Love Thyself said, don't know the cause, but you explain briefly. Don't know the cause, but you explain briefly. Could you explain briefly? Love Thyself, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you ask that again? Hey, man, Angie Wise, thank you so much. Much love in the super chat for both of y'all. Oh, and also I found that you guys, I know black people like to see here. By the way, I am guilty of I am really guilty of a terrible stereotype, man. I feel terrible. I didn't know that black people like PowerPoint presentations. I would have not, dude, you know how long ago I'd have been doing not regular PowerPoint presentations, but the fucking super dramatic ones. Oh man, I didn't know until I actually watched Young Pharaoh. I was like, people take information in this manner, just like, what? Dude, that's what the fuck I do. Like, oh, if it's gonna be like that, if you can do a presentation like that, oh Lord, they're dead. There's no way. There ain't no way, dude. No way. Well, I did. What is that? I make mine for companies. What is that? I love PowerPoints. Oh, yeah, dude. But see, I wouldn't do a PowerPoint. I would do something like not a PowerPoint, but man, I'm talking about like John Jackson. You guys familiar with John Jackson? The guy, the guy that wrote the pamphlet about the pagan origins of Christianity. A lot of people know of that. It's a small pamphlet, though. It's a small pamphlet. And people have been talking about that small pamphlet for 30 years at least, 40 years at least. You know what I mean? For that pamphlet. Rest in peace. Died penniless. Thank you. Died penniless. That's what happens to black academics. Honest black academics. They die penniless. That's what used to happen to great black fighters. Die penniless. Penniless and broke. And it's a shame. I heard that happen to Dr. I always forget his name, man. Dr. Ben. I know he go by the game Dr. Ben, but Dr. Ben Yakin, the dude, for real. If y'all got thoughts like that, give me a call. Dr. Ben, if y'all have thoughts like that, give me a call, homie. We got something to holler about. You know, Errol should definitely get back with Blu-ray. He would come back and look better than he did against Porter and Mikey. Yep, Dr. Ben Yakinen. Yep, Dr. Ben Yakinen. I was never lectured by Dr. Ben. I was lectured by Dr. Clark, and a lot of other professors that were very, very good people never heard of because they write their dissertations. Boxers used to fight for food money. Yep. Oh, and also Tyson Fury says that he's the greatest heavy. You knew it was coming, right? You knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I was like, when is it going to start? They keep trying to throw out these lines. They keep trying to, you know what Tyson Fury does? Tyson Fury tries to throw out headlines. Like, no matter what he does, hey, I got comments on Patreon. That's what's up. Double comments on Patreon. Thank you. That's beautiful. Man, I lost my train of thought once I saw that. I got to respond to the Patreon comments. He said, Blu-ray and EJ not getting back together. It's no beef. They got conflicting schedules right now. Hey, Xavier Miller, look, let me tell you something, man. You know who I'm talking about, and I'm not about to go around trying to figure out how to pronounce his name right now. And I hold the dude in a lot of respect. It's just with a lot of respect. I'm just not going to do it, okay? Appreciate you. You just told me how to pronounce it by writing it. Okay, if I didn't know how to pronounce it correctly spelled, how do you know I'm going to know how to pronounce it if you spell it phonically? You know what I mean? Dude, come on, man. Cut me a break. You know what I'm talking about. Dr. Ben. He's got two. He's got Joe Jahad or something. You know what I mean? However, if you'd like me to tell you what he talked about and what his expertise was, the most important thing about him was the chronology of Egypt. Okay, the dynasties of Egypt. He was a Hebrew from East Africa, and you can see some of the most fun debates. He's Jewish. He's a Jew. He's Jewish. He's a black Jewish doctor that is an expert on the history of Egypt and the development of Egypt and history in general. Okay, that's who he is. That's what he talked about. He talks about the original Hebrews being black. And he also talks about the relationship between the Jewish community in America and the world, and basically is of the belief that they position themselves as being that's what Judaism, that Hebrew religion is about, but it's not. And that he has as much right as a black man to talk about being a Jew as any other person, that guy. Quite honestly, dude, I don't really pay attention to people's names a lot. I'm terrible with them, but I always listen to what they say. That's just how my brain is wired. It's very tough for me to recall names. But if you give me a concept or you give me your opinion or what you think of something, then I'm going to remember that. Even if I forget your name, I'm going to remember what you said. I'm going to remember what you did. I'm going to remember, what your viewpoint is on a subject if we had discussed it. Those things I remember. The names, man, just fly right out of my head, man. Thank you. See, like the title to his book, Emmett H. said, John G. Jackson, Christ Before Christianity. Thank you very much. And I think the underline might have been the pagan origins of Christianity or something like that. He said, Fannon, I'm going to his lecture after the live stream. Definitely, man. Definitely go check it out, man. Definitely good stuff. Stanley Sims, Jermell Iron Man Charlo will beat and defeat Errol Spence Jr. in a 12-round fight. Bout facts, lines only, all day. Stanley Sims, okay. Jermell or Jamal? Maybe he would, but that speaks volumes to Jamal. That speaks volumes to Errol Spence Jr. I don't say nothing about Errol. Errol's at 154 pounds. Love to see the fight. I don't know who is going to be. I mean, shit. I take him over Crawford too. I take Jermell Charlo over Crawford I take Jermell Charlo over anybody in the world under 154 pounds. I take anybody 154 pounds and under. I take Jermell Charlo to beat him. Anybody. Name me one. Name me somebody under 154 pounds that can beat Jermell Charlo. Please. So that I can know. And I'm already going to tell you, after you say that, I'm going to say bullshit. Just so you can say that, you can know my answer before you give your explanation. How about that? How about that? Meet me outside. How about that? Will Errol Spence fight his best friend, Jermell Charlo? I don't know if they're best friends or not. However, I bet they would for enough money. I bet they would for enough money. How much money? 20 million apiece. Sign the contract. We finna get it. We finna get it in. Because if you wouldn't diss you. Why would you do your friend like that? Like, oh, the only guy that I can make that much money and you won't do it? Man, please, shoot. You give them enough money, they both would love to do it. Be looking forward to it. You talking shit before it, talk shit during it, and talk shit afterwards, hanging out with their kids and spending the money that they made. Why wouldn't they want to fight? That's why I'm like, I don't buy that Porter Crawford crap. Why the logic of fighting each other is to say you wouldn't fight your friend. That just means there ain't no money in fighting your friend. One of y'all think you can get more money somewhere else. That's what I think. Why not take the fight? You kidding me? For that amount of money? I wouldn't want to punch you. I love you too much. Nah, dog, you just don't bring enough money to the table. I ain't get more. It's not important enough. I get it's not you not paying me enough money to beat his ass is what that is. You know what I mean? That's all that is. The Charlos and Errol are close in real life. We see them together all the time. Ever see Porter and Bud together? Yeah, but exactly. But either way, they would fight each other. They might fucking see that the idea that you wouldn't fight each other for money is ridiculous. Because there's always the possibility that you in real life that you might not get along and want to fight. So why don't y'all just act like you mad at each other for about a year and then fight, okay? Get your mind around it. Stop hanging out with them and get a beef going. You know what I mean? And settle it. Put some money on it. Something. So we can see the fight. Because I ain't really trying to hear all of that. I think Porter would give Jermell a run for his money. Jermell Charlo will beat the piss out of Sean Porter. He'll beat the piss out of Sean Porter. Piss out of Sean Porter. I ain't buying that at all either. No. Because I'm not confident Errol Spence can beat Jermell. Not confident about that at all. Okay? I don't think anybody I know they have great sparring matches, but I have to see it. I'd have to see it. If there's somebody that could do it, it would be Errol, but I have to see it. Jermell Charlo's underrated, man. Jermell Charlo's still hungry. Okay, of all the fighters you got to worry about being hungry, you ain't got to worry about him being hungry. That dude is stuck on hungry because his desire to fight ain't about hunger. It's just about him being kind of half crazy and wanting to beat somebody up. That's just his thing. That's just Jermell Charlo's thing. That's the one thing about Jermell Charlo that sets him apart from me. Like some people are always like, man, why is he always arguing? I look at him like, if I had to pick somebody that I didn't want to fight, it'd be somebody with an attitude like that. Because, dude, there ain't nothing you're going to do. He just really wants to beat you up, you know? Say Jermell is nasty in that ring, bro. Get mean streak of epic throwback proportions. Yeah, dude is. You think Errol could beat Harrison? I don't know, man. Tony Harrison? Dude, when he gets there, we'll see. Okay, you're not going to walk me down a long list of people that I think Errol Spence Jr. cannot beat. That is not going to work. Because I have not seen Errol Spence Jr. at 154 pounds. And I don't think I've seen the best Errol Spence in the last two fights. Okay? Because I think that he was having a hard time with his weight. I take him at what he says. I take him at his word. That's what he said. I will go with it. So I don't know. And we have never seen him also at 154 pounds to see whether or not he gets a lot stronger. However, I have been doing live streams on YouTube for quite a minute, for a minute now, and I know when y'all trying to just get me to insult somebody, and no, I'm not going to do it. Fannon, I want Tank and Teofimo. You know who I want? Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. That's who I want to see. Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. That's the fight I want to see. I want to see him get by that. Let him get by Lomachenko. Get that fixed fight out of the way. Get that high potential to be a fixed fight out of the way. And go get Josh Taylor. Love it. Josh Taylor can come to the United States. Right, represented by Top Rank at the 140-pound division. And fight the rising former unified 135-pound champ Teofimo Lopez. Alex Santos said, I got Josh schooling Teofimo. I got Teofimo beating Josh Taylor. I got Teofimo. I take T.O. because of that fight with Regis Program. And he likes to mix it up too much. And I think Regis Program can crack, though, but I don't know if he can crack. We'd have to see how Teofimo Lopez's power, how it transitions up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can say, got to see Teofimo at 140 for. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable to say that. Tank versus Taylor. Why are you trying to move C Wolfbag? You're doing it, dog. You're trying to move. You're trying to move. You're trying to get Tank beat, dog. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to ask what he was, Tank versus who's next? Tank versus Beterbiev? Is that the next line? Tank versus Beterbiev you're gonna ask me about? Well, Beterbiev. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. It's Tank versus any of these lightweights. I'm taking Tank. Okay? Tank Lomachenko, I'm taking Tank. Tank Haney, I'm taking Tank. Tank Teofimo, I'm taking Tank. That's why? Because Tank's beaten some damn body before. Okay? Richard Comey did get beaten by Teofimo Lopez, but Richard Comey was gonna get slept by Tank too. Okay? Tank versus Shakur, Tank. I'm taking Tank. Okay? Because Tank's beating somebody. Okay? Tank is, what Tank can do. Say what you want about Tank, but Tank beat Pedraza. He beat somebody who was the best in their weight division. He did it. They've not done that yet. None of them. Okay? Just what it is. Tank. Only one that might bug me a little bit is Teofimo and Tank. Because Teofimo's so damn big. Dude, he looked ripped at 100, like my man said, Junior Peace said, man, the dude looked ripped at like 155. That dude's going to be at 140, 147 before it's said and done. And that's why he's so confident, too. Because he's like, this dude's too little. I'm going to mow him. You know what I mean? That's what he's doing to lightweight. He's trying to mow dudes. He's mowing dudes at lightweight. You know what I mean? So Tank is mowing people, too, though. Mowing them. Which is why I don't understand why. Said Tank's skills and dog are underrated. Let me tell you, man. Look, let me give you this is what I think about that. All right? And this is my shot to y'all Negroes out there, y'all Devin Haney fans. Okay? Y'all Devin Haney fans. I like Devin Haney, but it's the attempt to just announce Devin Haney as better than Gervonta Davis. Has a lot of y'all trying to underestimate Gervonta Davis. That ain't nothing Gervonta Davis did in the ring for that. No. If you look at the numbers in boxing, people ain't underestimating Tank. They showing up to watch his fights. Okay? Tank is like an anomaly in this mug. Okay? He's a black fighter that y'all want to ignore his numbers. You want to ignore who he's actually fought and what he does in the ring. No, it's y'all Devin Haney fans trying to taint the reputation of the great Tank Davis. I know what it is, dog. That's what it is. Other than that, what Tank ain't done? What can't Tank do? You know what I mean? Yeah, Shakur has a chin, but I got to see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. You know that song. Like y'all trolls, like people be singing to y'all trolls mama. Let me see it. Bend over, let me see it. That shit. Let me see it. You know? Shakur versus Garcia. Which Garcia? Man, Shakur need to fight. Yeah, that's exactly it. Let me see Shakur fight Gary Russell Jr. Once Gary Russell fights Shakur fights Gary Russell Jr., okay, then I'll believe it. That's UGK, yes. In the words of UGK, bend over, let me see it. Okay. Real Talk 9 said they don't know about that. I got Regis stopping Hooker. Hooker likes to mix it up too much. Yeah, exactly. Oh, did I? I'm sorry, Justin State, to get my cash. Justin State, to get my cash. Much love, man. Oh, I've actually missed a whole bunch of fucking super chats. Damn. Wow, let me get through these, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I was just zoning. You know I'm zoning when I say something about when I quote UGK. Okay, so lowest common denominator, boxing helm of the demographic said the movie 13th illustrates how politicians use racial rhetoric to win elections by implementing new policies written by Alec that hurt black man and protect white pole. Check it out on Twitter. The 13th. Yeah, the 13th. We'll do. I'll do that today. Cool. We'll check it out. I'll check it out today, too. Angela Wise, much love in that super chat. Thank you so much for the support. In the chair. That's what's up. Much love in that super chat. Love thyself. Don't know the cause, but you explain briefly. Dre's Finest says, stop saying black folk tearing up their own property in their community when black folk don't own any property. Give ADOS our reparations. And just in case to get my cash, said Bud versus Hurd. Who you got? Bud versus Hurd. I got Hurd. Jared Hurd. I got Jared Hurd over Bud by stoppage. Hey, that's tailor-made right there. You know what I'm saying? That might be tailor-made, depending on how that power. Now, that power is strong from Terrence Crawford can crack for sure. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, but yeah, by the way, Dre's Finest, absolutely, dude. I've been saying that for a long time. I'm glad somebody else must have said that out there, and I'm glad that you got that idea too. Dude, you don't own the property. What are you talking about? Somebody's tearing up their own property. They're not tearing up the property. They're more than likely tearing up white people's property. That's what they're doing. Stop that shit. That's whose property they're tearing up. And Angie Wise, thank you, man. I think I got it all up to date with the super chats. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for your support, because that will go to the cause that will be announced within the next couple of weeks, because I have to have something to show you before we make the announcement. So keep your eyes out there. Thank you so much for your super chat in support. Crawford's chin is a little shaky. Yeah, and your dude really likes to walk people down. So, you know. Where is this at? Oh, I think I'm way behind. Okay, where's this at? All right. Would Bud be Tank at 135 in their prime? Woolbag will say yeah. I mean, come on, Bud started at 140. Bud's too big for Tank, man. Way too big. So Machine had him do the stanky leg. Yeah, he did the stanky leg, but that don't mean nothing. That dude can fight. We're talking about Jared Hurd at 150. We're talking about 168 pounder. And Jared Hurd. Jared Hurd's bigger than me. Okay. Jared Hurd looks every kind of big. I ain't never seen him on a screen nowhere where he didn't look big. What's going on in BFTB? He was standing near Deontay Wilder and he still didn't look little. You know what I mean? He didn't look like some little mini dude. He looked like a normal sized dude next to a 6'7" dude. Crawford will outbox Tank over 10.5. Oh, Tank 10 times over. I don't believe so. I think he's gonna go for the knockout, dude. I think he's gonna try to go for the knockout. That's not. What's going on? I'm good, CJ. What's good, man? Man, I'm feeling real good, man. You know, feel real productive today. Yeah, I heard is 175 pounder. He's huge, man. God, dog, there was something else I was gonna say, man. Lost my train of thought. Let me see. Let me go back to these super chats. Oh, our ADOS reparations. All right. I do have to tell you this. I think they do have to. I do think they need to come up off of it. I have always been well off of the I've never been on the reparations thing. Never. Because I figured that the money's going to go right back into the system, right? And they don't have enough money to pay it off, right? That's my thing. And I was like, and plus it's the general disbelief that it would ever happen. All of those conspired in my mind to say, not really going to get behind it. However, I think that I've actually changed my mind upon that because I was looking at the problem from the wrong direction. Dang it, dummy. The reparations are not important for whether or not from that point of view, from whether or not the Europeans will actually, whether or not the Europeans will just get the money back, or whether they would ever do it in the first place, right? None of that really, that's not really what makes reparations important. What makes reparations important is that it is the only way that Black people will ever trust you. That's it. Because they will never get closure without it. And this is why. This is why. We're upset. I'm upset at you because because you did something to me. And you know I did it, you did it, and I know you did it. So there could be a problem that I have that I need to fix within myself, right? My own psychological damage that I've had. But there's also the necessity of me feeling like I got even. Even if I didn't get even. It's important that I feel that way so I can move on. Because I can't move on without it. And it has to be something truly that makes me believe it. Otherwise, you can't stiff me after it's over. If that happens, then healing can take place. Because of the whole dynamic that we just talked about, like like somebody asked me why the white guy and the Mahomes question. Then that allows me to believe that now I can actually believe what you say because you repay the debt. And the debt isn't for slavery. The debt is for being cast, not chattel slavery. The reparations is for being cast into this. It shouldn't be based. That's the only thing. The African descendant of slaves, that won't work. Because it has to be everybody that has been punished in their life because they have color in their skin. Because they have the same dynamic, even though it might not have been the same perpetrators. And I argue that it is the same perpetrators, whether it was in the United States or whether it was in the Caribbean, whether it was in Africa or whether it was in Europe. Still the same perpetrator. The system of white supremacy. The 13th on Netflix by Avi DuVernay. I promise you'll thank me later. Fannon, I'll check it out, man. It's no amount of money that can make up for what they did. No, there isn't. Unless you say it is. Unless you say that it is. Unless you say that it is. If you accept it and you don't feel like it's under duress, if you're not accepting it under duress, and you really are trying to create a relationship, a bond with somebody over an agreement, then the thing is, what do you want and what do I want? And the thing is, it's got to be bigger than everybody wants, because otherwise somebody's going to feel unsatisfied. So when you have multiple people, all these different people with all of these different wants and desires and all that, it's got to be something that can cover that. But the problem with the administration of it is that the political connections and spokesmen and all that doesn't work. You know what I mean? That's tough in the administration of that. It's tough. But anyway, I'll go check that out today for sure. He Who Greets with Fire. Money isn't about making up. It's about stepping towards rectifying. Yeah, they can't afford the cost because the cost is their life. They can't afford the cost to repay it. Because the only thing that would repay it is all of their lives. How can you? That's the only thing that is of equal value. Think about it. With all of the people that have died, been tortured, been mistreated in any way you can name, if you were to try to repay that, how can you repay it? You can't pay for it in cash because there's no money that you can measure that on. So the only other way to pay it is in kind. You have to give me the same thing that you took. And since what they took is lives, that's what they would have to give to repay it. They can't repay that. That's a price that's not. And ultimately, that's what they're worried about, I do believe. That people are going to look for that, for the eye for an eye. I think that's the biggest fear, one of the biggest fears, and one of the biggest risks that they have. It's a huge risk. Because if they slip and fall, it's like a lion, an old lion, fucking everybody up for a long time. But then he got old. And then they wind up getting eaten by a bunch of other lions. You know what I mean? I'll take that 14 trillion. Yeah, take that 14 trillion. That should do it. Actually, 28 trillion because you gave the banks 10. Nah, fuck that. That's cheap. 14 trillion you're letting off cheap. What's the budget? What's the U.S. budget? What's the total U.S. budget? What's the budget of what's the yearly budget? I would say 2.5 times trailing revenue. That would do it. 2.5, because they understand that that's business talk. That's your EBITDA. You know what I'm saying? What's your EBITDA? And I give you and I need 2.5 times trailing revenue. What is that? That's the gross domestic product, isn't it? What's the gross domestic product? U.S. gross domestic is, somebody could give me this. What is 2020 gross domestic? What is the gross dollar value? I don't know what to get the dollar value of it. Somebody can tell me that, man. Whatever the gross domestic product is for the United States, 2.5 times it. And we're even. 2.5 times it. And don't fucking, and if you fucking do the shit again, it's on and popping. Okay? Like that. Because now we got all that damn money. Right? So, yeah, that's what I would do. 2.5 times. That's the fairest thing. And I don't know how much, what's the better way to measure that? I'm just having fun and then we'll get off. How much is the United States worth? Oh, that's why he said that. Oh, but that's not the same thing. That's not how much he's worth. We're talking about the revenue. It's worth 23 trillion is what they say. Hold on. It's an estimated that the total wealth of the U.S. is usually put up rather high at between 70 to 80 trillion. Okay? So 70 to 80 trillion is the worth of the United States, but that does not answer the question about how much money comes in and out and how much you would buy it for. How much would you buy? So we say, how much would you sell the United States for if it was, but that's just the wealth. Then you just have the total value and you got to get it into foreign lands too. Yeah, I'm thinking sometimes, $14 trillion is getting off. $14 trillion getting off even. Getting off easy. Oh, I know how much it is. How much is, this is fun. I know y'all. How much money does the U.S. earn? Somebody got to tell me what the gross national product is, or I'm going to go nuts. Okay, the United States. Oh, 13. Okay, there you go. Okay, 13 trillion. They bring in 3 trillion. So 3.5 times. Actually, that's what he used. He used 3.5 times trailing revenue. The revenue, that being the money that is brought in. But that's not including the assets. So now it's crazy. Yeah, 14 trillion is cheap. No, it's this. Woo. Say, give me a cool million. I'm good. I'm forgiving Drew Brees and everything. Nah, I ain't giving you for $1 million, homie. There's too many Negroes with $1 million. You know what I mean? Like they pay $1 million. Jamie Webster, they pay $1 million from. They pay somebody $1 million to get into a boxing ring. Nah, I ain't not for that. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. How much is Bill Gates worth? I want every penny. Anyway, man, I'm just bugging. But look, man, much love to everybody in the chat. Everybody, let me make sure to check the super chat since I know I mess up sometimes. Okay, I got that. Thank you very much. Anyway, man, much love, appreciation for you guys coming. Check out the videos today. Go to my man KQKC coming up next. And with that, I'm out. Peace.